What's going on, guys? Very clear day in the market today. I really liked how price was moving, and it's moving in a way that I kind of expected it to. My weekly profile is playing out so far, and I feel like tomorrow and the next day, or like this week, I thought it was gonna be, really messy. I mean, it has been. It's been full of surprises. Let's just say that it's been full of surprises. But in terms of where I know where I kind of want price to move, it's moving towards that. So I feel like it's gonna be a bit of an easier week. I'm not gonna say it's going to be like knock on wood. I'm just saying I feel like I understand a lot price a lot better this week than I did last week. So I'm just gonna capitalize off that. But yeah, coming in today, we have two winning trades. And I'm getting closer every single day, man, to getting that funded, to getting this funded past. I feel like things are slowly. I don't know why. It was just. I just feel a little bit. It's a little bit different. I just feel like I'm understanding things a little bit more, and it's just a good feeling, bro. So let me just get into the trades real quick, recap them, and hopefully you guys can learn from them, and then I learn from my own trades as well. So, okay, new day coming in. Right, today is April 8th. Okay, starts here. Okay, today's April 8th, and today, well, first let's look at yesterday. So yesterday the daily candle closed bullish, right? Yeah, we closed bullish yesterday, and like I was saying, I want to see Monday and Tuesday be bullish and push up into the range of this daily internal range, and then fill in some of the imbalances, the low resistance liquidity imbalances, and then expand lower the rest of the week. And I think that's essentially what we're doing now, right? Because in pre-market, we push higher and we almost take out yesterday's previous day high on NQ. However, on ES, we do end up actually taking this previous day high. And what does that do? Since we don't take it out, while ES does, we put in a bearish SMT, an external bearish SMT, a huge SMT actually, which is another confluence that I think adds on to my bias that the rest of the week will be bearish. Now, granted, if we were to push back up here in PM session and then push back into these highs and take out this SMT, I'd be fine with that too. As long as Wednesday when we open, we don't push up any higher. If we're just manipulating, coming back here to manipulate this previous day high, I'd be fine with that as long as I see bearish order flow back before I trade tomorrow's morning session. But if we start pushing up and we're pushing up past past our ranges and we enter this more premium daily fair value gap, I'd be a little bit more iffy on being bearish tomorrow. It really depends on what price wants to do today in PM session. If we're respecting this previous day high and this SMT, then I'm more confident in that tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday we're all gonna have bearish days. So, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, so because of that coming in, I was bearish with my bias. And first macro, I didn't actually end up taking any trades. Yeah, first macro didn't end up taking any trades because I was bearish. I wanted to see price reverse. And the big thing here, again, like I said, we put on SMT, so that's when I actually started looking for the trades. And also, I came home, like, it kind of worked out because I came home really late last night, and I didn't wake up in time for the first macro. Yeah, but the second macro, I was there. So I was looking for positions. If we didn't take a trade today, I would have been completely fine. But we had a very nice setup. So in addition to me already being bearish, we have extra confluences that we're going to reverse in price. So like I said, the SMT, we're also in a 4-hour fair value gap. And then in addition to that, we have an higher time frame market maker sell model, right? So from the 4 hour, we mark our PD array this low, this 4 hour low to this high, and we go into the 15 minute, right? Because 4 hour aligns to the 15 minute, and then we have a pretty textbook market maker sell model here. So we have the original consolidation, first distribution, second distribution, and then we have our smart money reversal. And I know I go over market maker models a lot, and I kind of just want to reiterate that this is basically what I'm looking for. I know some of y'all maybe not know completely like in depth, but I really recommend getting into the market maker model like a lot. It's such a good confluence. It gives you a lot more context to what the market wants to do, to where the market wants to go. So it's really nice. Maybe I'll make a video on it once I get a little bit better, but yeah, this is essentially what I'm looking at, right? So we have the original consolidation here, two phases of distribution, and then we have our smart money reversal, and then we just distribute back into our original consolidation area. So that's kind of like what we're doing here. Except that was a market maker buy model. Now we're market maker sell. Now it's a market maker sell, right? So overall, I know that we're going to be pushing bearish for the rest of the session because of this model. And what kind of confirms that? Again, the SMT and the 4 hour bearish imbalance that kind of confirms that this market maker sell model will play out. And so because of that, I'm now looking for positions. I'm zooming into the lower, smaller time frames so I can catch the shorts. I can ride along the path that we're going to sell off here. So the first holy freeze. Okay, so the first position that I kind of catch is in our second macro. Yeah, our second macro here. And if you guys are trading the NQ or just trading indices today, there was a really big manipulation wick out of nowhere right out of the first macro, our first macro open, and that was kind of, that gave me kind of extra confidence, honestly, because that's a clear manipulation play. Like, this 1 minute candle just wicked up immediately. And if that's not a confluence, or if that's not a sign that the market's manipulated, I don't know what is. You just might be, just open your eyes. If you don't think that's manipulation, it definitely is. So I saw that, and I saw it reject and basically fill in all this all these imbalances on the 1 minute. I zoom into the 15-second, and then we have a unicorn model, right? So we have on the 1 minute, we have a unicorn model. We have a stop on here, a high, low, higher high, lower low. We get a change in the state. We have a breaker block, and then we have a fair value gap on the 1 minute. So we have a 1 minute unicorn model, and then on the 15-second is where I take my entries. I'm going to be taking more 15-second entries now because I feel like it tells me a lot more. I can kind of zoom in, and I know for some people they think it's a little bit too chaotic, but in my opinion, for me, I think I can see a lot more in the 15-second. So I zoom in, although I could have just entered on the 1 minute here. I still just zoom in. I'm basically entering off the 1 minute. I just zoom into the 15-second and enter off there. So as soon as this candle kind of rejects and we get another retracement back in this area, that's when I enter. I had needed to have a better stop placement though. I should just place it at this data not really data high, but just that manipulation wick high. But I just didn't want to risk too much. I think I entered like two cons here, 2 micro contracts here. So yeah, it was a small profit because I took partials here. And then full TP was at this low, the equal lows on the 15-second or the 1 minute. Yeah, not equal lows, just this low here, relative equal lows. Yeah, so a pretty simple trade. Again, like I said, I'm going to go over it over and over and again. If you've been watching my videos consistently over and over again, it's the same model, right? All my wins are the same model, even my losses. It's SMT, macro, unicorn model, and market maker model, right? Those 4 things. Market maker model for context, macro for the time to trade, unicorn for my entry model, and an SMT for an extra confluence. That SMT, if I don't have an SMT, I use an inverse fair value gap for an extra confluence. And so all those 4 things added together is, I'm going to say, is the holy grail. All right? Yeah, you heard it here, bro. Alex O, 700 subscribers, college broke kid, trying to pass a 50K, gives you the holy grail. All right, y'all just got it. Now y'all going to be profitable, trust. Okay, second macro comes. Okay, and I know I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt here because I recognize the model, I recognize what we were doing, and I just got out way too early. I don't know really why. Maybe it was just emotion, but I'm still learning to enter off of like 15 seconds, so I'm just going to give myself that excuse, but I shouldn't have pulled out way too early. And because of that, I kind of see on the second macro that we haven't had a redistribution phase yet, right? For our 15-minute market maker model, we haven't had a redistribution phase because look, we need redistribution in order for it to be a valid market maker model. And it seems like we're going into a valid market maker model, right? Valid market maker sell model. So I mark out places where we can kind of retrace into on the 15-minute, so that can be possible areas for price to retrace into and for me to zoom in and grab a move while we expand back lower. So the first fair value gap is here, the second fair value gap is here. Ideally, obviously, we would want it to be the more premium fair value gap, and that would have been an OTE. But again, I'm adapting, right? I'm reacting to what the market wants to give me, and I'm aware that we might not get a retracement back up higher, right? Because that's a pretty big move. So I'm aware that if we don't get a move that high, it's fine. I'm gonna look for any entries if we can. And macro starts again. It's just textbook, literally textbook. Macro starts at 11:45. This is the third macro. Ends at 12:15. Ends at 12:15. And as soon as macro starts, or right before macro starts, we tap into this 15-minute fair value gap, right? So again, higher time frame imbalance that we're in. So we're gonna get a reaction off of that. And then when we zoom in, like I said, we had a 15-minute market maker model, right? But again, I add another confluence. I add another market maker model because look, we have a 5-minute PD array. So on the 5-minute, we're basically retracing back to this 15-minute fair value gap, right? So on the 5-minute, we have this 5-minute low and this 5-minute high. 5-minute aligns with the 30-second PD array. What do we have here? Original consolidation. First phase of redistribution. Second phase of redistribution. Textbook. It literally looks like this photo, right? Textbook here. And then now I'm looking for some consolidation, a possible entry model, my unicorn to tell me that we're going to start a smart money reversal. And that's exactly what we get, right? Because on the 15-second, when we zoom in, we have what? You guessed it, bro. A unicorn model. We have a unicorn model. And I don't necessarily think we had an SMT here. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we had 2 inverse fair value gaps. Boom. Replaces my need for an SMT. That's another great confluence. So stop hunt here. A high, a low, higher high, stop hunt, lower low, change in the state. We get 2 inverse fair value gaps. This is essentially our breaker block. These 4 up close, 1, 2, 3, 4 up close candles. Our fair value, we don't have a fair value gap. We have the inverse fair value gaps and the breaker block. And then we have higher conviction because of this market maker sell model is going to be played out. In addition to the entire 15-minute market maker model, this 30-second market maker model, I could have just went a lot more, but I think my profit, like my consistency target, would have been cooked if I did that. So I just took a moderate position because I know I'm confident in myself that I can look for these setups when they present themselves. So I'm not in a rush to do anything. I'm building my account up slowly. So yeah, this was really another textbook model, textbook trade. I really liked today's session. I was disciplined. I was good at recognizing my model and answering off of that. But yeah, I mean, it's different. I feel like like I said a few videos back, right when I blew that account, I told myself, man, like, I think this account, me blowing this account, is going to give me a lot of lessons. And I feel like everything's just slowly starting to click a lot better. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, but I'm just confident, man. I'm confident when I'm entering now. Those other three losses that I took a few days or a week or two before, those also helped a lot. And I'm just a lot more confident, man. That's why I didn't hold that position but although I knew I had my draw, the Asia lows were my draw. I didn't hold it to Asia lows because obviously, I mean, I could have, but profit consistency target, I think would have been screwed. I don't know. Maybe I'm making an excuse, but I'm just a lot more confident. I don't feel the need if I don't want to just stay in a position for too long. I know that I'm able to find it any other day. So I'm just gonna take what I can get and get out. And I think that's just the name of the game, securing profits. So, yeah, pretty good session today. I thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something and just relearn, right? Every single thing I do, every single video, every single win I take is the same model. SMT, market maker. Okay, let me just do it in order. Market maker model I find for the environment, for the context of where we're going to. Macro is the time that I trade at. Like, so I need my setup within a macro. Unicorn is how I kind of confirm that we're going to be in a smart money reversal, that we're reversing, and we're going to fill out our market maker model, because the unicorn is going to tell me when we're reversing, when I should enter, right? That's my model that I enter with. And then for an extra confluence is an SMT or an inverse fair value gap. Those four things that I use, I believe. I'm just slowly building my account, and it's going to help me get there. So I thank you guys for watching. God bless, and have a very, very good day.